is Just the Who of Us, where we cover topics like life experience, family relationships, entertainment, spirituality, as well as answer listener questions and more.
I am a deep thinker, and I'm open to everything. I'm not an asshole. You want to do that, then do it.
I feel like there's a lot of things that people try to judge me for, especially in my past.
What was your post?
As far as like judgment or just in general, like, okay, well, I have 5 kids.
Mhm.
3 for men.
Mhm.
I was married before, I'm remarried now, and I'm also adopted.
Mhm.
But people don't know all the, you just kind of like, oh, you got 5 kids and 4 different dads, you know what I mean? Well, one also has another, I adopted them, so it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that, whatever. And I have a lot of tattoos, have a lot of piercings, I've been to jail, like I had an issue with alcohol. Like I've never like lost my kids, because they feel like that, but I could have, maybe.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so.
Great. I mean, that's why I said I support that. That's awesome because that's just living life. Like there's people out here on this planet, this earth that I met that's like 65 years old that worked their whole life and never been to a walk. See, it's crazy to you, right? But to them, it's nothing.
So like.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people don't live life.
Right.
And it's like the people that you live life with, it's like a normal thing. But there's people out there that's like, what?
Yeah.
You go to a strip club? You got tattoos? Like, I would never. And then you just like, well, what do? I work.
Right. Well, there's something that can be quote unquote judged about everybody. And even if it is like, oh, you don't live life, you know what I mean? Like one thing I love about podcasting, because that's where and even in my business, because I meet different types of people in my business, but one thing I love about like this is that I didn't know you at all a few days ago, and I'm still getting to know you now, but I feel like we have so much we could talk about.
Oh,
And had we not like had that mutual friend connection to say, oh, hey, you do this, hey, you want to be here, let's get these two together, we would never meet and know anything about each other. But I feel like we have so much you can learn about and talk about, and that's one of the things I love about doing this, or just being a social person, period.
exactly. Like, with me doing my job as a drummer, that's my job. I want to meet everybody in the room because you don't know who you might touch. I mean, with my music and everybody I work with, that's why they always like, dude, I want to work with you.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm like, why? It's like, well, you just different. And it's like, and I care because I do care. I care about everybody.
Yeah. Well, to us, it's like, oh, well, I'm just me.
Yeah.
Why me? But for them, they're like, you're all these amazing things. Sometimes we forget that we're all these amazing things.
Yeah, that's true. People try to, oh, you this, that, this, that. I said, oh, just me. And don't call me the best drummer because I'm not. And for the podcast.
I really good at your music, and I was like, this is really good. I like the music part of music. You know what I mean? Like I like to hear the instruments.
Mhm.
And I listen to, I want to say different types, probably not. I don't listen to all types of music, right? But I've kind of broadened my like what I listen to lately. I listen to a little bit more country than I ever have. It used to be just like all hip hop. That's it. But over the years, I'm like, okay, let me check some other things out. Morgan Wallen became really big. And if you would ask me 5 years ago, I would be like, I don't listen to, I would never listen to that.
Yeah.
Me and my daughters play Morgan Wallen all the time.
Hey, Morgan Wallen was one of my favorites. He went black. And and black people accept it. But we just did a show in Charlotte. They was like, they were full of black people. And they was like, you doing the Morgan Wallen?
Really?
And I was like,
I mean, I'm not, because I feel like people in general are opening up their music taste.
Mhm.
It used to be, okay, well, white people listen to rock or country and Black people listen to rap.
Yeah.
It was like this stigma, and that's not true at all. My husband he listens to more stuff than I do. Like, he is more open musically than I am, and he's a Black man, big Black guy. What you would think? I don't know. Some people probably look like, oh, he probably listens to hip hop. Like, he knows a lot of rock.
Yeah.
He knows probably more country than I. He's not super into country, but probably more than me. You know, like, but it's one of those things. Music is kind of one of those things that you look at people and you stigmatize them. Oh, they probably only like this because they're this. Typically, but I feel like that's kind of becoming less of a thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you said that. It's like in my podcast, you know, it's like I love to be the only Black guy, and then people be like, "What is he gonna do?" And then I dress like this,
Right.
and I'm already gonna give you like, "What is he gonna do?" Now when I sit down and I'm playing Hank Me Jr., they're like, "He knows it? Oh my God, who is this?" You know, it's like, and that's what I love, you know, because that's me. You know, and I dress the way I do because I always get called when you're white, you know, and I'd be like, no, I'm not white. I just know how to act, you know, because like Black people we always know our stuff.
Mhm.
We always dress different, we drive different cars. So I have that in me, but I also know how to act polite. Probably. You know, you're not gonna catch me, well, some people have it. They can catch me out of my mode.
Well,
So,
you're professional,
exactly.
just hanging out, you're just like.
Exactly. Like Morgan Wallen, you know, he got caught doing some things, you know, but that's him.
So I did hear about that. And at first I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to listen to him now but I didn't see it. And I don't know the context. So I'm like, okay, let me not judge because I wasn't there, but also, had you talked to me when I was a teenager, I flew around the N word like I was Black because the people that I grew up with, that's just what we did. And it wasn't until I got older that somebody was like, hey, you know, like, it just doesn't sit well with you.
Yeah.
You know, you're more respectable than that. Like, I was ghetto as shit when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, okay, well, I grew up.
Yeah.
No disrespect to anybody. I know some people who are still, some white women who are still ghetto as shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I've turned into like this prissy white lady, but you know, I don't know, you just grow up and you start becoming more aware. You're like, oh, some of these behaviors just kind of make you look ignorant.
Yeah.
It's not cute in your 30s. It's ignorant.
Yeah.
You know?
That's again living life.
Right.
But we all did some things we're not proud of. I know I have. I mean, I live life. I'm a lifer.
So on that topic, let's get into the meat of this conversation.
The drummer's not worth our
Sure, it's not worth our dollar. I've seen this phrase, I've seen it on your Facebook, and I've heard you talk about it a couple of times, and I want to know, what is the story behind this?
story behind that is Devante Thomas. Devante Thomas. I'm from Vail, North Carolina, Cat Square, out there in the country. Below Lincoln, Tennessee, my nose is Lincoln. Born and raised in the trailer, single Black mom. My mom, on that hand, she wanted me to go to an all-white school. I could have went to Black, but my mom was telling me, and I'm getting some story, but my mom told me, you go to white school to learn something. So I went there, and ever since I was little, I've always played drums. And I just always had a calling for it. And the reason why the message I'm saying I wasn't worth $5 because my mom, I grew up in a Christian home. That's all I could listen to. I didn't listen to rap until I was 13.
Okay.
And my sister got married to a Black guy named Tim, and he was light skinned and stuff. I got in his car, and he was playing the game, and I was 13, and I've never heard so much cussing in my life. Because my mom, couldn't cuss on, couldn't do nothing. I was Christian.
Yeah.
Went to an all white school. We listened to country and rock and roll and stuff like that. So when she got married, I got around her husband and stuff, that I started opening my eyes and listening to different stuff. But growing up in church my whole life, I played there my entire life. I got 21. I did get married. I had a baby, and I, you know, I found out the little keyboard player there was making $200 a Sunday. It wasn't mad. So I went to the pastor and said, you think you can give me $5 a Sunday? He said, I just don't think he's worth that much.
Really?
Yeah. And that was my uncle.
Oh.
Yeah, my uncle. And I sat there and I was just like, I'm not worth $5. Like, I measly, because back then $5, I'm gonna say back then like a long time ago, but $5 you can get your meal from McDonald's.
Right, and so I wanted to ask you too, how old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30, okay. Because I figured, well, I'm a little bit older than you, but I figured we were kind of around, so I'm 30.
Okay.
So, but even 30 years ago, when you talk about your mom being a single Black mom wanting you to go to this all-white school, it probably sounds weird for people now. Like, first of all, where's an all-white school? Like, because most places, although I have seen my daughter plays volleyball, and I have seen some schools on the team, it is like all white females, which is very rare. But it's just weird to, like now you wouldn't, most places, especially like Charlotte, surrounding Charlotte, like I don't know of any like just all white or all black schools.
Well,
now,
all white
30 years ago was still it doesn't seem as long ago to us, but for people who are younger are probably like, that's weird. Like, what do you mean? But that's a whole other thing too. Slavery wasn't as long ago as people like to think.
exactly.
And segregation wasn't as long ago as people like to think. So for certain people listening to be like, we want him to go there, because there are certain stigmas that are still in play that, okay, well, if you were an all black school, you're probably this and this and this, you're probably probably, yeah.
Well, she would say, you go to all black school, you can probably get on drugs. And I lose my son. My mom was really strict.
Yeah.
I couldn't even have a girlfriend.
Right.
I couldn't do what normal kids do.
More so my daughter. I'm very strict about dating and stuff like that. Just probably because I had my son at 14. So it made me a little bit like stricter on my girls as far as dating and sex and things like that. So,
It should be. I mean, that's where I want to be with my daughter.
Yeah.
But that's my daughter. But my boy, I'm gonna have to, you gotta let it go.
I've had certain talks with my sons that I haven't had with my daughters. I mean, well, obviously because the boys and girls are different.
Oh,
But I probably have had a little bit stricter conversations with my daughters than, well, my youngest is only 9 with my son. But I like drilled them like STDs and all these kinds of things when they were younger too. But it was just a different topic of conversation than with my girls. Girls, they can get pregnant, the boys can't.
okay. I mean, my mom, the whole subject with her it's touchy. That's why I want to have this talk. But I love her to death. I mean, she's a great woman. She raised me to be a good man, and she put a lot in me. And the lessons that she gave me back then, I use them to this day. But I am happy I went to all this. I mean, I don't regret that, because I hate to say it, days like when black people get together, we still put each other down, and still like we can't never build each other up. So like when I would go to church, but when I went to church, it was all black.
Okay.
So I had a lot of diversity in my life, even though I went to all that school.
Yeah.
Because I got to see how the white kids act,
Mhm.
and then I got to see how black kids act on Sunday.
Yeah.
That was the only time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah.
But even then, you're kind of in this controlled environment, right?
Yes, it's still control. It's still like, this is how we act here. This is how we act here.
Yeah.
And when I was at church, the only place I felt happy was behind the drum set.
Yeah.
And that's where my calling was. And I was there every Sunday.
Yeah.
On time. There. Because like in my mom's house, my house, we don't go to church. That's what she said. I said, okay. As long as I'm behind the drum set, okay.
Right.
Because I had something to do. I had a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, there every Sunday. And I was loving it. But even then, like I said, being around black people versus white, I was controlled there too. Being my uncle's church.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
I couldn't, like, there's a lot of drummers out there that's been trained, that got skills. I've never been trained. I never had a lesson. I did take a lesson from somebody, but that was one lesson.
Yeah.
So everything I do, by ear. There's nobody really sit down and teach me anything. Because like at church, I would go behind it and try to just play.
Yeah.
And they would come out and say, no, you can't do it. So I could only play when somebody sings a song. That's why I could never really do like drum solos like some other people have, because they had time to practice their fills and all rudiments and all that stuff that I don't even know what that stuff is called. Believe it or not, I still don't know. I've been doing music now full time. I don't know how to do a rudiment.
But the same way that you started and just playing at church and only knowing this, I imagine it seems like from what I've heard and what we talked about that is something that you will get to. Because I don't feel like you're the type of person who's like, okay, well, this is what I do and that's just what I do, and I'm not gonna learn anything else. You know what I mean?
I'm still looking for lessons. And if I hear somebody else play, I'll watch them.
Yeah.
Because that's how I grew up in church, So when my pastor looked at me, and I had a daughter, and when I got married, they gave me the wedding. They gave me the church, and they gave me the food. They paid for everything. It was nice.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about putting some money.
Right.
Like we got a keyboard player that's not even playing the right notes. And you're calling in people to train her. And I'm not saying that, I'm just saying like it's a true story.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. So if somebody want to get mad and say, Devante said this, yes, I said it.
When I hear the story, my first kind of question was like, okay, well, was it because your family, I don't feel like I should have to pay you because I've had family be like, oh, well, I've written multiple books and sir, like, oh, I don't think I should pay for your books, I pay. And then I've had other family members who are like, no, I want to pay full price for your book, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that was my first kind of thought, like, was it a lucky family, so we don't really have to pay him, kind of thing.
I really don't know. So there's other.
Right.
There was another family member of mine I don't think about real in debt that he started off with too, and he was really good. They wouldn't pay. So either that's the way the pastor felt, like he family was paying, or it just felt like, I'm just not gonna pay him. And he's gonna keep playing. And like I said, when I found out, I was cool with having to pay.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I grew up in this church. I didn't think we got paid for it.
Right.
I didn't know no difference. Nobody ever said, hey, you get paid.
Right.
I was taught, do the job, work, do this Sunday, and go home. And I was okay until I had my daughter. And then I was like,
take care of it.
And it was like, cause when a man has a kid, a real man, when you have a kid and you're a responsible person, and you like wake up on Sunday, I got a baby in here, and her and all that. Can you just? It wasn't about the money. It was about I want to feel appreciated. Should I get $5? Like $5 is less than 20. Like $5 is just like you can hand me that at the top.
Right.
Because I know you get paid to preach, and if you're not getting paid, you're not getting anywhere. Getting $200.
Well, where the kid put them on that.
Yeah, and for you to say that I can't get $5.
Yeah.
And this is my home church. I grew up there. I cried, you know what I mean? Because like not on that situation, but I cried because when I was a kid playing, I had people walk up to me and say, "You suck. You're horrible." They said, "I went to this side to see if you had any rhythm on this side and that side. You just suck." And it's just church.
Yeah.
That's why I'm scared to play with some of our churches because we are mean to each other. It's not like so I play for white church now, but it's not like white church. White church is really good.
Yeah.
Black church is like, man, you suck. And it would be so bad, like if I was up there playing and I did something wrong,
Yeah.
instead of somebody teaching, just take you off. Right in the middle of the service. Won't play no more. It was that bad. But through it all, and again, nobody, my mom didn't pay for my lessons with me.
Yeah.
I didn't have nobody to sit me down and say, hey, this is what you're doing wrong, this is what you need to do. I just kept praying to God. I said, this is what I want.
Yeah.
You know, in one service I went, there was a different preacher, and he preached, and he said, he prayed over my hands. He said, anything you play, you're gonna do it. He spoke that into my life. And I was just like, what's this man talking about? I just want to play. I was like, just let me do what I want to do. Like he looked at me and I never did. He said, anything you play, you're gonna be able to play. I don't even know the man's name. And that next Sunday I was up there and I was a different guy.
Yeah.
It's a little spiritual, you know, it's like and it makes me so after he said that, what's different now? Like, what's the click now? Is it because he just believed in me, or did God really give me the gift? You know?
Yeah.
But after my pastor told me I wasn't worth $5, he said the best thing you can do for me is come out there and listen to me preach. He said, I don't even care if you play. I just need you here to listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I told my mom, because my mom knows her brother, she will speak up for me. Nobody in church spoke up. You know, it was just like, maybe he's right. You know, because I didn't know bands. I didn't know another place to play, but church. And church, normally.
You hear your rehearse course.
I know it's like, and in church, normally everybody got a drummer, so I can't just join another church to play.
Right.
So I thought that's it. And then I never sat behind him and played for like that pastor again, but to just hear, you're not worth $5.
Right. Right.
And this is the man that you set up under your whole life.
Yeah.
And it's your. But if you would ask me, like, when did you know you were worth $5? My cousin I was talking about played there too, Jeffrey Thomas. Man, he's amazing on keyboard. My cousin, and he could sing. And it was a funeral, and he reached out to me. I want you. And I'll never forget that text. And I was like, You want me to play? Like, cause like, you know, when you look up to somebody, you look up, and you're like, I was like, I'll be hard. But he used to be hard on me.
Yeah.
He was the one that pushed me to be a better. Cause he was like, I need you to play. I said, play, I need you to play.
Right.
And he was a preacher, singer, keyboard player. He was amazing. Anything he touched, he was good in. Me being a kid, this, you know, so when he reached out to me and I went and played and I did the best I could and he reached in his pocket, gave me a $20 bill.
Oh, nice.
And I knew then, I was like, well, I'm gonna do something.
Yep.
So that's my story about that.
So we're running a little short on time here, but I also like this part of the episode because well, now people have even more of a reason to come back because there is more. We're gonna wrap this part up. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit of insight into who the man himself is, and we have more to talk about. We have a lot more to talk about. Now we kind of know you a little bit more, where you started from. Your story is really intriguing, and now my audience is gonna be like, okay, well, where is he now? You know what I mean? We're not gonna tell them where you are now yet because we want them to come back. So let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
I'm Devante Thomas on Facebook. Social media is your boy Monty. You are boy Monty. MONTY, not E. Wow. Yeah. Follow me. I'm everywhere.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
I don't know, like, I don't know your view on certain things, so I don't want to be offensive.
Say what you want.
Full transparency, I don't know. I have complex beliefs about certain things like that, but I love everything spooky and gory and Halloween. So,
It's you know, there's definitely witches. I mean, 100%. You know,
I don't know anyone who like actively practices. So that's probably like if I did, maybe I'd be like, oh, okay, you know what I mean?
I do. I know people.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's scary out there because like all of them not bad, but all of them not good either.
But that's all
Yeah, that's it.
type of thing, you know? Yeah.
When I came down here, I seen that. I don't judge nobody.
Right.
I got my beliefs and I know what I believe, but like I do like to see what other people do. Because it's just like it's life.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it's like if they do it, I just want to see why you do it, why you believe that.
Right.
Not like I'm gonna join, but whatever you believe in life, I like to support it.
I thought this could be a whole nother podcast.
Oh, I got hey, this is what I do. Like,
It's really good for not only just like promotion of the podcast, but it makes us kind of like relax and feel like we're
get the movie
we're
going.
already in the conversation, and so it just flows easily when we start talking about podcast stuff.
Cause I was right there at the cuff of where they was paying the keyboard $200.
Let's switch back and we'll wrap the conversation we're having, and then we'll go. I think it's kind of from over there.
Is your audio on?
It's the same as your one. With us today, we have Devante back, the drummer who wasn't worth $5.
Started a band called Bustin', cause that was the name of the record.
Okay, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, well, it was a brotherhood, and this is before I was Devante. I was Montavious.
Okay.
And how I got the name Devante is because when we was down there playing, I would hit the cymbal so many times because you know I'm in church, you know, we get down in church. I was gonna take my life because before I got to where I was at, I was stuck in the press because all the doors got slammed. And I told God, I said, "You real?" Yes, I don't know why I said that. I did.
Check us out on YouTube at Rhea Higgs, ReaHagues. You can also keep up with us on Instagram at Just the Who Podcast.